Hello everybody, welcome back to Gooner Fanzine TV. We're outside the Emirates after Arsenal's 1-1 draw with Sheffield United. Frustrating, disappointing afternoon. Joined by Jake Court, Layth Youssef. We're going to talk through a few things from the game, general thoughts. So Jake, what do you think of today?
It was interesting. Xhaka, you could actually, while sitting from the game, you could actually see Lloris actually getting physically and mentally angry at Xhaka because he was doing this at one point towards Xhaka, which was quite interesting. The crowd was getting a bit edgy when Sheffield United after in the second half, which was a bit getting very aggravated when the ball kept being given up.
Okay. What did you think about Xhaka? I know we've had a few conversations on him.
We've talked a lot about Xhaka this afternoon. I thought he did all right. And I was really interested in the way he slotted back into a potential back four, back five, whatever you want to call it, when Louise pushed further forward just to make the back line more solid when Arsenal were in possession. But in terms of his actual role, I don't think he's dynamic enough to be a box-to-box midfielder. I don't think he's creative enough to be a number 10, and I don't think he's defensively disciplined enough to be a defensive midfielder. So it's just the same Xhaka conundrum you get every week, basically, where he just doesn't impress as much as he should do. On the back of what you were saying in another video about the Man United game, because that performance was brilliant. Yeah, that's what he should be at every week, and he's not. So yeah.
Well, one of the people who didn't impress today, big talking point, obviously Gabriel Martinelli came in place of Aubameyang. Did really well for me. I thought he showed again what he's shown throughout his time at Arsenal. What did you think?
Yeah, I love Martinelli. I love the fact he's only 18 and the fact he will happily ball out a far more experienced professional if he doesn't think they're in the right position, if he doesn't think they're feeding him the ball right, if he wants to move them somewhere else basically to draw another defender away. He's got a real strong character. I love players like that. Tony Adams had that as an 18-year-old where he wasn't afraid to lecture senior pros if he didn't think they were pulling their weight. That shows a real strong character. On top of that, he's got a really good technique, he's got great temperament, he's strong, he's rugged, he's athletic, he's good in the air, he's got a really powerful shot. I just love him. I absolutely love him. And obviously Mikel Arteta does too. He called him impressive today, didn't he? On what was ultimately a very disappointing afternoon.
Yeah. I think he is going to be a big star for Arsenal. I saw when I was sitting when he was on the left wing, he was tracking back to help Saka during that first half, which was impressive. Yeah. I mean, young striker. His movement into the box is quite impressive as well. He was linking up well with Pepe in the first half. Yeah.
I mean, that level of maturity is really impressive for me, as you say, Jake, tracking back. A lot of young pros maybe don't know where to be, don't know when to track back, stay forward, whatever, but he's shown a lot of maturity for me, which is really impressive. Yeah. We asked in the podcast on Monday, and you said you think he's better as a striker. Played out wide today was impressive. Are you still sticking with me? You think he's better as a striker?
Who, Martinelli?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You reckon?
Absolutely. Yeah, he should be straight down the middle. He should be the target man. He did play well in a further sort of in a wider position, but I would have him as a striker basically all day long.
Yeah.
I'd have him as a striker, but the thing is, it's good that he's versatile and playing as a winner as well.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's got a bit of competition from another young player in the form of Reece Nelson. Sounds like he's going to be out for a while with a hamstring problem, what Mikel Arteta said. Do you think it'll be a big miss and they might need to look to bring someone in that spot if it is going to be a long-term thing?
I mean, hamstring injuries, you just can't tell. If it's not a tear, then hopefully you're talking weeks rather than months. But as Arteta said today, it's been assessed, so we just don't know. I'm not sure Arsenal can afford to bring a left-sided attacker. Certainly in terms of the budget, the limited budget they've got for this month's transfer window. Arteta was asked about Reece Nelson this week at London Colney. I was fortunate enough to be there listening to him about that, and he was bigging him up, but at the same time there was an element of underperformance and frustration at the underperformance from Nelson, and maybe a couple of issues off the field that have sort of taken away his focus on being a professional footballer basically. And I was really looking forward to seeing Nelson play today, just to sort of banish those sort of doubts really. And I know Arteta wants him to as well, but it's really frustrating he's not playing because of the injury, and it's going to take a while for him to come back because hamstring injuries do. But I just don't think Arsenal can buy anyone else at the moment.
The thing for me with Nelson is, do you think the thing that he lacks most is a bit of end product?
Who, Reece Nelson? Yeah, that comes from a lack of maturity, lack of experience. That will come basically. Young players tend to snatch at chances, or maybe not even realise the chances are there basically. Sometimes you look at the best centre forwards, they stay in one place and wait for the ball to come to them in the box, or even out wide if they're trying to feed a ball in the middle. Nelson sometimes has a tendency just to sort of run around a bit like a headless chicken. He certainly did that in the Watford game when he came on as sub. He was very disappointing that day, but he's got a bright future. He just needs to apply himself, as Arteta was saying this week.
What do you think of Nelson?
I think because everyone said he was impressive when he was out in Germany, and then you was all hearing this big, oh, he's going to be great for us next season, and it's just not materialised.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I
think
saw
he's
him.
been alright.
I saw him for the under 23s just before he went to Hoffenheim, and he had a really good game down at London Stadium. Arsenal won 3-2 on a freezing cold night, late August 2018. And I asked Emery, like literally a week later, have you got plans for Nelson this season? Meaning, are you going to stay there? And he said, yeah. And then literally, Nelson's gone to Hoffenheim 2 days later. I'm not expecting him to tell me.
There's a lot of things doing there, Emery said that he didn't back up.
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah. I wasn't expecting him to tell me, this is what's going to happen. But at the same time, it just seemed like Emery was really confused about Nelson. And people are still confused about Nelson 18 months down the line, basically. I think he got 23 appearances, 7 goals for Hoffenheim in a season truncated by injuries.
Appearances were off the bench. I don't think he got that many starts.
He started really well. Yeah, maybe 23 appearances rather than 23 starts. He started really well, didn't he? He got a flurry of goals early on. He picked up an injury before Christmas. Obviously struggled to get back inside afterwards. He flitted and there was sort of fits and starts. But at the same time, 7 goals isn't too much of a bad return. But he needs to build on that, and he hasn't done so far in 6 months this season.
Yeah. The one thing we've discussed in another video is the penalty incident with Nicolas Pepe. Obviously, sitting in the press box, we get the beauty of actually looking at the VAR decision, whereas supporters don't get to look at it on the screen, but I think they should.
Yeah.
Did you think it was a penalty?
I didn't. It's hard to say because we don't get any replays where the club don't. Because when Martinelli's goal was getting VAR checked, they actually turned off the screens in the concourse.
Did they really?
They block out the screens.
The
screens go to Sky Sports News.
There you go. Did you think it was a penalty?
It was. I think it was, but I think he was looking like he was going for it. So if that might have swayed Mike Dean and VAR to not give it. It looked like he was going for it.
That's absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? Arsenal fans aren't allowed to sort of see what's going on, whereas if you watch it on TV, you can. Basically, it's really frustrating.
I think they say it's because it doesn't incite an incident.
Oh, it's just nonsense.
But it incites anger because we're shouting. Because at Palace, you had the VARs being played on the tannoy, but they've stopped that now as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I covered rugby games at Twickenham, Six Nations games, and the fans are completely in the loop about what's going on. They can hear the referee, you know, the sort of judges.
Right way to do it.
Exactly, yeah. There's no reason why football fans shouldn't be allowed the same sort of courtesy.
I think the thing is, VAR. I was listening to an interview by the FIFA president. The VAR, they were shocked to hear that the Premier League referees don't use the screens.
Yeah,
you've got to use the screen.
Ridiculous.
You've got to use the screen.
What's the point of having the screens? We might as well just, because the FIFA said they're not concerned about. When the FIFA said they were concerned about apparently the best league in the world, saying about our referees not using screens.
Absolutely, yeah. It's just
that
not
is the concern.
Yeah, and then they said we're not going to do it now because we haven't done it early in the season. It's going to sort of change the sort
it's only been used,
outlook.
We've only used it once this season. That was in an FA Cup match because a red card. But the next week at the same ground, the referee decided to use VAR to send the player off.
Well, they've been told not to look at the screens, basically. God alone knows why.
Who told them that?
That's what's come from the Premier League themselves. They've told the referees.
But UEFA saying FIFA saying you should look at.
FIFA's insisting.
Yes, but obviously the Premier League is the one in charge of their VAR, so.
But surely the FIFA is the governing body.
Well,
so
they can't enforce referees.
They could just nonsense. I'm so sick of talking about it.
I completely agree with you.
Can we talk about what I did last week then?
Yes, absolutely. So obviously, like Dan was going to ask him, you did the walk and talk, didn't you?
Yeah, I actually left here at 5:30 on last Saturday when this place was completely deserted, like tonight actually.
Was it as cold as it is now?
It was freezing. There was actually foxes running around that as well.
Was there really?
Yeah. It felt
soon I am trying to get back in.
Well, there's the fans.
Indeed.
But it was actually nice watching London wake up, walking the streets like I normally walk on match day, busy, completely empty.
Wow. So to talk us through, obviously we did the walk and talk. Serge and myself did it with you.
Yeah, you did have to go up the hill. We went down the hill. We went downhill.
Because we did it from Selhurst Park to Emirates before the 2-2 draw back in October. You did it the other way, didn't you, last Saturday?
Yeah, because the early kick-off time, the official walk was leaving at Waterloo, but I wanted to do it the whole way. So I teamed up with a Palace fan. We met up at Finsbury Park at 5:20, and we walked and we left here at 5.
So how many miles was that? Because I know it's 12 miles from Selhurst.
It's actually longer because we had to divert to Waterloo.
Right, okay. So what are you talking, sort of 15, 16 miles? 15
miles.
Really?
We had it tracked. We would have been going in a complete straight line if we didn't have to divert to Waterloo.
We saw you after the game and you looked a bit tired.
Yeah, because I was meant to come on after that, but then I had to go to...
Yeah, absolutely. No, good on you, Jay. That's a good one. So just talk us through, how did it feel like?
It's great to raise, because as I was previously spoke about, I suffer from mental health. It's great to raise awareness. Because suicide is the biggest killer of men under 45, which is shocking.
Yeah.
So it's great to raise awareness. It's great to see football fans walking together.
Yeah.
Sad that a lot of Arsenal fans didn't, because it was at reduced allocation, early kick-off time.
Yeah, I suppose that was it, wasn't it? As opposed to the sort of game at the Emirates when a lot more Arsenal fans could have come.
Yeah.
I mean, what did you take out of the day then? Was it spreading awareness?
It was spreading awareness again. It was great because the Samaritans actually turn up with their volunteers to speak to people where they want to. So it's great that they're getting... I think it's great that football fans encouraged to talk to each other.
Absolutely.
I nearly had to ask a Palace fan to push me up a hill.
Oh, really?
With a wheelie bin.
With a wheelie bin?
I was there, you'd only done a few miles, wasn't me? I was trying.
What, in a wheelie bin?
I was going to jump on top and they had to push.
Right, blimey. We'll have to get Dan to do that for you next year.
I don't think so.
Unless I want to go down the hill.
Yeah, well done to you, Jake. Brilliant effort, and well done to everyone who was involved. For both games basically this season. Fantastic work. Obviously, Layth and Jake, the first one, so well done to them as well. Yeah, well done to everyone. Obviously, such a brilliant cause. As Jake said, male suicide is a real big talking point at the moment, and mental health is as well for everybody. So yeah, if you want to join in with things like walk and talk, or just chat to someone, basically, do it because it's so important. But we are losing the light here, so it looks like we're being kicked out. So
and that's it.
It's freezing.
That's it from us outside the Emirates after another frustrating day, basically.
How many times have we said that this season?
A lot.
Yeah.
At least it ain't raining.
Yeah.
You win some, you lose some, or you draw some.
Yeah, in most our case, isn't it 11 draws now we've got?
The problem is we can't win or lose. But anyway, that's it from us as we lose the light. Another frustrating afternoon, disappointment. Hopefully against Tuesday at Stamford Bridge, we'll improve basically, and we'll get an important win. So yeah, we'll see you there. Of course, we'll be there. There's plenty of stuff to watch. We'll got the podcast from last week. We'll have a podcast Wednesday up for grabs as well. Loads of good stuff. So yeah, make sure you watch, like, and subscribe. Cheers.
Excellent. That outro was as long as Mark would have mine.
Yeah, but it was concise. Apart from I said against Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, against Stamford Bridge, I was going to say.
Idiot.
Video.